Thank you, my Lord. We are saying thank you, Jesus. Thank you, my Lord. Our Lord and God, we are saying thank you today. Thank you for so far, how far you have led us, and how far you have led this company. Thank you for gathering each and every one of us here this morning. We give you all the glory in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
We thank you because without you, we can do nothing. We thank you for all that you have continued to do, even in the life of this company and in the life of the founder. We give you all the glory in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
But even as we have gathered this morning, we ask that you take preeminence. We ask that you guide us through all that we are going to do today.
Amen.
And we pray that you will continue to take this company upper and upper, from grace to grace. Even as we start today, let your name be glorified.
Amen.
You say the path of the righteous is like a shining star that shines more and more. Our prayer today is that from today onwards, they will move from glory to glory. Thank you, Father, for everyone that has come today. Blessed be your name. Be that glorified in every life here. For we pray in Jesus' name.
A round of applause for him. Thank you so much, sir. As was standing, please, we need to recite the national anthem.
In brotherhood we stand. Nigeria is all our proud to serve, our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace or battle, honor, and this we count as gain. To hide unto our children, of land without shame. O God of creation, that is our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. And so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may we bless.
All right, thank you so much. Before I proceed, I would like to recognize the presence of our Honorable Minister of Women Affairs. She's in our midst, the Director General, National Information Technology Development Agency, NITGA, and Deputy High Commissioner, Head of Trade. And we also have the Deputy High Commissioner of Canada in our midst also. A round of applause for them. All right, we are moving on into the welcome address by Mrs. Judith EJ. A round of applause for her, please.
The welcome address delivered by Mrs. Juliet EJ on the GetBundi Breakfast and Networking event held at Victoria Camp Hotel Hotel, Victoria Island, Lagos, on the 31st of May, 2024. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, esteemed business leaders, educators, parents, and students. It is with immense pleasure and pride that I welcome you to our inaugural breakfast and networking event and the grand launch of the foundation of our cutting-edge EdTech platform, GetBundi Foundation. The name GetBundi comes from an English word, get, G-E-T, and a Swahili word, bundi, meaning smart, wisdom, or knowledge. So GetBundi means get smart or get wisdom. And we have set out to help Nigerians and Africans to get smart. Our platform is approved by the Federal Ministry of Education in Nigeria and the National Board for Technical Education as a tertiary institution, and was officially launched on the 24th of January 2024 after 3.5 years of hard work. Today marks a significant milestone in our journey towards transforming education in a world that is rapidly evolving, where technology continues to shape every facet of our lives. We recognize the urgent need to reimagine how we learn and teach, especially science, technology, engineering, mathematics, STEM, and digital skill courses. Our mission is to bridge the gap between traditional educational methods and the innovative potential of digital technology, especially in our climate, where education has taken the backseat in government development plans, and out-of-school children rate is rising daily. We intend to massify STEM and digital skills learning in Nigeria and across Africa, not only in English language, but also in local languages. We target to upskill 10 million African workforce with digital skills under our initiative, the GetBundi Vision 2034, which aligns with the African Union Agenda 2063. At GetBundi Education Technology Company, we believe that education is not just about absorbing information in a school building, but about fostering curiosity, creativity, and critical thinking without that boundaries. Our platform is designed to provide an engaging, interactive, and personalized learning experience in STEM for post-primary students and digital skill courses for everyone online. By leveraging advanced technologies such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data analytics, we aim to tailor educational content to meet the unique needs of each learner, ensuring that no student that wants to excel is left behind. Because we recognize that the increasing poverty rates, unemployment rate, and out-of-school children is directly connected to lack of quality STEM and digital skill education due to cost, lack of quality teachers, lack of infrastructure, and accessibility, especially for the poor and low-income population. We believe that the solution to this problem lies in the deliberate and increased investment in education technology at all levels to equip our teeming youthful population with the skills that will make them job ready, not just for local jobs, but for international technological job spaces, which will attract the needed foreign exchange, just like in India, China, and other Asian countries. They are exporting their skills without leaving their country. This way, we can also address the Japa syndrome in Nigeria. Our journey to this point has been driven by collaboration and dedication. We have worked alongside a diverse team of educators, technologists, and industry experts to develop a platform that not only meets the highest standard of educational excellence, but also adapts to the ever-changing demands of the digital age. Our comprehensive suite of tools and resources, including over 3,000 hours of bite-sized video content, over 6,000 preparatory questions and answers, years of revision exercises for competitive exams like WIEC, NECO, JAM, etc., will empower teachers to enhance their instructional strategies, enable parents to actively participate in their children's education, and most importantly, inspire students to achieve their full potential. We are committed to creating an inclusive and accessible learning environment Our platform is designed to support students from various socioeconomic backgrounds, providing equal opportunities for quality education. Hence, our prices are highly discounted at 5,000 naira per month for STEM and 300,000 per year for digital skills, with a wide range of courses, interactive modules, and real-time feedback mechanisms. We aim to cultivate a love for learning that extends beyond the classroom. As we continue this exciting journey, we are reminded of the timeless words of Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. With GetBundi platform, we are not just introducing another product to the market. We are igniting a movement that seeks to transform the educational landscape in Nigeria and Africa and empower future generations to thrive in an ever-evolving world. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who has continued to contribute to making this vision a reality. To our team, headed by the CEO, Barrister Osita Okarogo, whose tireless efforts and unwavering commitment has been instrumental in bringing GetBundi to life and to this stage. To our partners whose support and collaboration has been invaluable, and to the educators and students who inspire us every day with their passion and dedication to learning. And to you all who have made time out of your tight schedules to honor this event. As we move forward, we invite you all to join us in this journey. Together, let us embrace the possibilities that technology brings to education and work towards a future where every learner has the tools and opportunity to succeed. Thank you all for being here today. Let us make the most of this event as the beginning of a new era in our education system. Welcome to GetBundi. Thank you and God bless.
If your hand is not too busy, please can you give her a round of applause? Thank you so much, Madam T.J. Juliet. Next on my list, I call on the Deputy High Commissioner of Canada High Commission.
Good morning, everyone. Oh, that's too low. You have to do better than that. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's a privilege to be part of today's event. I do want to stand on existing protocol and acknowledge the distinguished guests who are amongst us. Thank you to GetBundi and Osita and his team who have invited me courteously this morning. However, this is not my first time to be intersected in their story. Full disclosure, I've been here in Nigeria since about August 2023, and more recently as the acting senior trade commissioner, so overseeing 6 priority sectors that Canada has investments here in Nigeria. 6 of them are education, ICT, agriculture, oil and gas, clean tech, and aerospace and defense. But you can see why our interests are here today in terms of ed and tech, in terms of the crossover of the importance of those 2 sectors, and how actually they are going to be the driving force for economic development, not just in Nigeria, but across Africa. Now, that's not just particular to here in this region, but that's the pedagogical framework that is applied in advanced economies. So in our case, in Canada, we've done the same thing. We've invested significantly, at least in the last 20 years, and I'm a product of that, of STEM education, of ensuring that students and employers and leaders and entrepreneurs of tomorrow are equipped at a very young age with what will be essentially the digital age, the 4th industrial revolution. And Nigeria, actually, to be quite honest, you've been doing this for the last 20 years. The reality is that many of your skilled, digitally skilled, and talent are exported around the world. Some of them are in Silicon Valley, some of them are in Toronto, some of them are in Singapore, some of them are in Shanghai, and some of them are here in Lagos. What I understand that GetBundi is doing is trying to scale that with the reality of your population of 200 million?
Yeah.
And then and that percentage of what, 70% of that under the age of 30? Lagos alone, I think, is a top 5 economy in all of Africa. So the responsibility is going to lie, heavy responsibility, is going to lie on Nigeria of equipping tomorrow's economic drivers. And that starts with its young people. But one thing that I'm also quite impressed with is that the reality is there's still adults with a lack of digital literacy, and that you've done specific initiatives, particularly targeting women, to ensure that they're equipped and included in the driving and shifting forces of this economy. But you already know that. I'm preaching to the choir in that respect. But what we're identifying and what our role here is to identify partners, to identify Nigerian stakeholders that can partner with Canadian institutions. One, whether they be private sector players to invest here in Nigeria in the form of tech companies seeking JVs, or academic institutions invested in advanced research. We are also recipients, many of our institutions, of the very best that Nigeria has offered, who are a part of many faculty who are driving innovation and technological ingenuity. One of the significant bridges that we want to see is that institution and ecosystems are also developed, not just in the highly concentrated areas of Lagos, for example, but spread out across Nigeria, whether that be in Abuja, Kano, whether that be in Port Harcourt. Am I missing any major other cities? Kaduna, right? Let's be quite honest. For economic development to really thrive in this country, it's going to see a higher scale and spread of institutions and ecosystems throughout. I'll be quite honest. In my 8 months here, I've been meeting young tech entrepreneurs spread out across your country in parts of Nigeria that do not always have consistent power or electricity. Parts of Tanabra who are inventing different types of platforms to reach specific rural students. So the ingenuity is fascinating, and that is the incentive, because the benefit not only to Nigeria here will you experience the impact economically, but guess what? The rest of the African region will feel that impact. And guess what? The supply chain, in terms of the value chain, will also have that impact. So individuals in Canada, investors in Canada, will be keen on wanting to invest in the next great thing. And let's see that next great thing be here in Nigeria. But that starts with, you can clap for that as well. But I cannot underestimate the insignificant value that digital education needs as the foundation for those driving forces that will develop ecosystems and that will be obviously and have an impact in terms of economic development. So you can trust us that we are seeking to continue to build bridges like entities like GetBundi, but also other entities, both in the public sector as well as in the private sector here in Nigeria. Thank you very much for this great invitation. If you don't get a chance to see me, feel free to reach out to GetBundi for my contacts. Again, congratulations to GetBundi and the team, and wishing everyone here a beneficial rest of the morning. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. What I have on my list now, we are going to have the overview of GetBundi by Winifred. Ogboke. A round of applause for her.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Winifred, and welcome to today's breakfast with and greets. Permit me to start on the existing protocols. Work with me as I take you through GetBundi's profile. GetBundi Education Technology, building a new Africa based on technology. In 2022, African countries scored below the global average on the Digital Skills Gap Index, highlighting a pressing need for digital skill development. Less than 20% of university entrants pursue sciences due to outdated curriculums, and only 11% of tertiary graduates in sub-Saharan Africa receive formal training in digital skills. Moreover, a 2023 World Bank report revealed that computer skills are lacking in 50% of African countries, compared to 85% globally. The International Finance Corporation predicts a staggering 230 million digital skill job gaps in sub-Saharan Africa by 2030, emphasizing the urgency to empower African youth with relevant digital competencies. With UNESCO projecting a need for 9 million new classrooms and 95 million additional teachers in Africa by 2050, it is evident that a new approach to learning is crucial in Africa. GetBundi, an online STEM and digital skill education platform, is paving the way by providing high quality, engaging STEM subjects for post-primary school system and digital skill courses to African youth. We are approved by the Federal Ministry of Education in Nigeria and the National Board for Technical Education, positioning GetBundi as a trusted tertiary institution. GetBundi's mission? To bridge the gap in digital proficiency by offering accessible STEM courses and digital skill courses, by empowering businesses in navigating the landscape effectively. GetBundi aims to upskill 20 million African professionals through our visionary initiative, the GetBundi Vision 2034, aligning with the African Union Agenda 2063. Why learn with GetBundi? We prioritize learning and development to tackle Africa's challenges in sciences, technology, and innovation by addressing the issue of cost, access, and quality. STEM. Our STEM curriculum provides 6 years of post-primary school content, with 5 years dedicated to competitive exam preparation, with over 4,000 multiple choice questions, daily live tutorials, and monthly Q&A sessions. We offer a robust learning experience. Additionally, students can access 1,200 hours of STEM recorded classes by proficient educationalists across Africa. Our program complements traditional schooling, supporting students out of school learners and teachers. It even serves as a train the trainer solution in regions with limited teaching expertise. Our digital skills. We have over 1,000 bite-sized learning videos. Our platform offers uninterrupted access to courses, allowing individuals to learn at their own pace and apply their skills effectively. All our training must impact knowledge. That's why we are focused on practical, real-world skills that are immediately applicable in the workplace. Our approach includes personalized support, live online classes, and a course-specific, highly moderated interactive community that promotes learning. Our strong team of academic and career advisors also provide interview preparation and internship opportunities for a seamless transition into the workforce. Our curriculum. Our curriculum is meticulously crafted to adhere to the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers standard, positioning it among the best globally. Tailored for the tech industry, our curriculum is industry-driven, guaranteeing that every learner who engages with our platform emerges job-ready. We have several key competency areas, which includes web development, digital marketing, product design, artificial intelligence, networking and security, also known as cybersecurity, data analytics, machine learning, digital literacy, video editing, Excel, data science, graphics, and coding. It was interesting to know that we'll be adding 11 other courses by the first quarter of 2025. GetBundi methodology. Our teaching method is broken down into 4 parts and can be delivered over 6 months, or in some cases, 9 months. Our flexible training strategy is tied to specific goals and measurable results. We have various stages, which includes the onboarding, online live classes with master classes from industry experts. We have monthly performance-based tests and group presentations. We also have final projects, mock interviews, and portfolio presentation. Indigenous learning materials. We are revolutionizing digital skill education by introducing professional courses in Pidgin English. We currently offer 6 courses that aim to expand 15 courses in 7 indigenous African languages by late 2025. Join us in revolutionizing education across Africa through technology-driven learning. Our team. Our faculty team has diversified expertise covering all computer science and information technology areas. Also, they are incredible educators, prolific mentors, and dexterous intellectuals. Feel free to contact us. Our academic advisors are just a call or an email away. Let us discuss your transition into tech. Thank you for your time.
A round of applause for our Wow, GetBundi. All right, without wasting much of our time, I call on a representative from the Minister of Women Affairs to come and give our speech. A round of applause. If you can do that for me.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Dr. Fatima Sulani. As the Honorable Minister, before I begin my speech, please I would like to convey apologies to the lady who wanted to hear. Unfortunately, due to the exigencies of duty, we don't know what they can. So I'm going to please stand on existing protocol. The keynote address is only delivered by the Minister at this event. The theme of the address is gender inclusion in tech, the Nigerian perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, it's a profound honor to address you today at this event organized by the GetBundi Foundation. Your mission to democratize STEM and digital skills education for our youth, especially boys, is highly commendable. This mission aligns seamlessly with our collective vision to empower women and girls across Nigeria through the power of technology. The topic of my address today, gender inclusion in tech, the Nigerian perspective, prompts us to reflect on the current state of women's representation in the tech industry. The underrepresentation of women in this field is a pressing issue, intricately linked to the dearth of digital skills acquisition amongst women. Historically, the focus of skill acquisition for women has predominantly been on traditional skills such as baking, catering, hairdressing, sewing, and other crafts. While these skills remain valuable, the digital age demands that we equip women with the skills necessary to thrive. The current administration, under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, recognizes the critical importance of STEM education for girls. We understand that empowering girls with STEM education is not just about addressing gender disparities, it's also about nurturing a generation of innovators and leaders who will propel our nation forward. The traditional education system backed by outdated methods is no longer sufficient to prepare our youth for the challenges and opportunities of the future. We must embrace new learning methodologies to equip them with the skills they need to excel in the digital world. Digital skills are fundamental to women's economic empowerment. In today's global economy, proficiency in digital skills opens a multitude of opportunities from entrepreneurship to high-paying tech jobs. By equipping women with these skills, we're not only enhancing their individual prospects, but also driving forward their economic development. Women who are proficient in digital skills can become innovators and leaders, thereby contributing to a more inclusive and dynamic world. Recognizing the importance of increasing female participation in tech, we're actively encouraging digital skills acquisition and the establishment of tech-enabled women-owned businesses. Our goal is to ensure that women are not merely participants, but leaders in the industry. This commitment is reflected in our policies and programs that promote gender inclusion in all aspects of education and employment. At this juncture, I would like to appreciate GetBundi for the collaboration and partnership to support the growth of the ministry. I would also like to highlight the donation of 300 laptops to females. So it's in this light also, I'd like to bring forth the e-portal initiative that's been launched by the Ministry of Women Affairs. This initiative aims to link women in the self-community with new market opportunities. The e-portal will provide a platform for women to access information, resources, and networks crucial for their economic advancement. By leveraging technology, we can bridge the gap between women in remote areas and the global marketplace, ensuring that they're not left behind in the digital revolution. We're committed to ensuring that girls and women have the tools and opportunities to thrive in tech. This commitment will unlock the full potential of our nation's human resources. When women succeed, communities prosper and nations thrive. In conclusion, let us reaffirm our dedication to gender inclusion in tech and work collaboratively to create an environment where digital skills education is accessible to all, leading to an empowered and equitable society. Thank you. God bless.
I believe it. Thank you so much, ma'am. We are going to have the CEO of GetBundi to come and give us his own speech. Please a round of applause for him and the coming out.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. I want to sincerely thank you all for coming. And we will be looking at indigenizing digital skills education, a pathway to Africa's development. Indigenizing digital skills education, a pathway to Africa's development. In a rapidly evolving world, digitalization is gaining widespread significance across nations, which has continued to play a crucial role in shaping labor markets and contributing to the growth of economies. As industries increasingly embrace digitalization, the demand for individuals proficient in digital skills has continued to surge. This demand ranges from basic digital literacy that enables individuals to effectively use simple digital tools to advanced digital skills necessary to participate in the global division of digital labor. For good reasons, most governments around the world are prioritizing digital skills as part of their digital agendas, as it is proven that these skills lead to significant growth of nations. However, in the face of a rapidly evolving digital frontier, the African continent falls short of individuals equipped with digital skills than the rest of the world. In 2022, African countries scored between 1.8 and 4 on the Digital Skills Gap Index. This is below the global average of 6. Also in 2023, World Bank report says that only 50% of countries in Africa have computer skills as part of their school curriculum, compared to 85% of countries globally. Experts in the education and ICT sector state that for young people in Africa to compete with their peers in the global job market, an introduction to digital skills has the potential to give them an advantage as they prepare for the modern workplace. This is crucial because the International Finance Corporation noted that there will be about 230 million digital skill job gap across sub-Saharan Africa by 2030, hence the need to equip youths with relevant digital skill sets. So now we are going to look at factors that has inhibited digital skill development and the digital transformation across Africa. Updated curriculum. So it is unfortunate that most of the curriculum that are being used in schools across Africa today are outdated. And when the curriculum is outdated, the output will definitely be updated. You can't plant something or nothing and expect it to stand. The unfortunate thing here is that people also don't understand the difficulties that we face today as a nation and the difficulties that Africa is facing as a continent. I'm not going to mention the name of this state, but I was in a particular state in the North Central 2 weeks ago, and I visited a secondary school and found only 3 teachers, 2 competent teachers and 1 auxiliary teacher in a secondary school. 3 teachers in a secondary school in 2024. So most definitely, we can now tell what the outcome will be. And this state is also not alone. I was in Abia State, and thank God to what the governor is doing there. Believe it or not, I'm not a politician. I've not come to praise any governor, but I think that that guy wants to transform the state. But the schools that I saw and the readiness of the people says something to me and to my team when I reported back to them that there is also a huge gap that we have as a people ignored. And this gap is the teacher training skill. And unfortunately, if you don't train teachers, they will not train the students. If you don't train the teachers well, they will not give their best. If a teacher receives less than 50 grand a month, she has to have a business by the side if she has to take care of a family of 5 or 6 or 7. This is obvious. You cannot tell a teacher, probably who doesn't have a skin in the game, so whose kids are grown up and are not in that school, to go to a school and teach from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and at the end of the month she's paid 40 or 50,000 naira. It can't do anything for her anymore. So what would the teacher do? Like what I have firsthand as our survey has said to us, let's not deceive ourselves. 75% of Nigerian teachers have side hustle. 75% of Nigerian teachers have side hustle. And unfortunately, you can't blame them. So I'm saying to the government, and especially to you, men, representing the Minister for Women Affairs, it has come to the point where we have to look at what's happening in the education sector, and especially as it concerns women. Because this time now, families have to sit down and plan. And each time families sit down and plan on how to manage their resources, the girls are disadvantaged. Whether you like it or not, that's the African culture. If a man has 2 sons and 3 daughters, or 2 sons, 2 daughters, and the man has only 100K, and the school fees is 70, and the school fees can only take 2 people out of the 4, the man will definitely say, you know what, this was like girls now. They will marry and go and answer another person's name. So the man will channel the money to the boys. So each time there is a family meeting on how to manage resources, the girls are disadvantaged. So we have to look at education in a way that we will encourage a system that will benefit everyone, but will pay special attention to women. Unfortunately, the women here are not clapping for them. So we now look at also lack of infrastructure. If you want to teach, you want to teach in a good environment. If you want to go to school, you want to go to school in a good environment. Those of them whose parents have good money probably go to the good schools, right? But let me be honest with you. The public schools are also churning out very smart individuals. Every day. Every day. The public schools are churning out very good individuals, and we think that it is time that we pay special attention, very special attention to the public schools and looking at the infrastructure. Now, someone will say to me, so why are you talking about the public schools and talking about infrastructure when you are a tech company? My answer is very simple, right? My team and I understand very well that what we have built in terms of our STEM education and STEM offering is a support to the secondary school. We do not replace the traditional secondary school. Our platform is not designed to replace the traditional secondary school, but it is designed to act as a support to the traditional secondary school system. So where our interest is as an EdTech platform is in the digital space, in the digital skill side of things. And why is our interest there? Our interest is on the digital side of things because we see that nations are built on it. Nations are built on the digital side of things. So one of our major goals is to empower our learners to acquire knowledge, skills, and behaviors that will help them to transform their lives and improve the prospects of employment and productivity in employment. empower them with skills that they need to create value and be successful. But today, we are looking at a term that says indigenizing digital education. Indigenizing the digital education as a pathway to Africa's development. What do we mean? We are going to be revolutionary, but we will be straight and we will be simple for you to understand. If we bring in a German to come and talk to us here now and tell us about probably any IT space, and the German makes a mistake in English, all of us here will make excuse for him. The man knows the English in the speak and a German in speak. We've made excuse for a German who understands the subject matter. So let's say he is a cyber security analyst or a data scientist. We have made excuse for him because he understands the subject matter, but he has failed to speak the English that we all know. So what did we say? He is a German. They don't speak English. If an Indian comes here to talk and he's telling us about how to launch rockets and he's speaking in his typical Indian accent, everybody in this room will say, that's so these Indian people, they talk. If you bring an Igbo boy like me to come and talk about the digital space and I make a mistake in English, my own Igbo brothers will be the first to say, well, this man for go there, what he come to, if English don't make it go Alaba market. They have taken away the fact that I may also know the subject matter, but that I have learned it in a way that it must not be communicated in English. So what we are doing as a platform is that we have the best of the facilitators, the teachers, to teach digital skill, but we want to be that platform that will teach digital skill education in pidgin English. It doesn't matter to us the language at which you understand the data science. Forget about how to communicate it. Understand the subject matter. Countries are growing. India has taken off. In 2023, India made over 100 billion in diaspora remittance into India, including the money they got from GetBundi, including the money they got from us, including the money they got from you. Sorry, but it's the truth. Your minister has said it before, that you are hosting something in the sky, something. And the people that are hosting it, they are somewhere. And Indians are benefiting over 100 billion US dollars. India is no longer a cheap place for tech people. Some strong tech engineering companies in India now take about $50 per hour. And when they do, what do? They take it home. So they're taking it to India. But listen, the problem with Africa, and especially Nigeria, is that we are one of the most praying nations in the world, but we do not understand the context of what the Bible or the Quran has said. Unfortunately, we don't. If they give me an opportunity, I will tell Nigerian government to get a legislation that will turn 90% of our churches into digital skill platforms. Sunday, let's do church. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, let's learn digital skill in that space. Because they have light. You cannot build this nation if we continue to do what we are doing now. It is not working. The people who are Japan, His Excellency has left, the ambassador, the Canadian guy. Listen, some of Africans in Canada are sleeping on the street. It's not about going to Canada. If you want to go to Canada, which skill do you have? When we were growing up in Europe, barbers made more money than us. In the US, there's a particular guy from Abia State that we all borrowed money from. He's the least educated among us, but everybody must borrow money from him. You must respect him. If you don't respect him, at the end of the month, when the bill comes, you will know how to respect him. He didn't go to school, but he's a plumber, he's an electrician, he does organizing job. If you call emergency, you have a problem in your house, you need a vulcanizer, they send him. The same guy. You have an electrical problem, you call for tomorrow, they send him. The same guy, his car is a Bronco, white Bronco. I can even visualize the car with a tailboard that has a toolbox at the end. He fixes everything, he has cash. We speak all the English at the end of the month to go have fun. I beg, transfer 5,000, end of next month, I will pay you. So that you must bring interest. That is the power of skill. He learned it in Nigeria. He didn't learn it with English. He probably learned it with Igbo. So, look at our numbers. Look at the numbers. In Nigeria alone, you can find over 50 million people less than 35 years old. Now, let's do a simple mathematics. If Nigeria makes an intentional effort to train IT hubs and structures and clusters that will teach them in their native tongues. Let's teach them in Yoruba language. Listen, if you get a boy from Osun and you teach him graphics in Pidgin English, he will probably not come to Lagos. He will be in Osun and make a living out of it. If you get the boy in Asaba and you teach him video editing, that place is fast becoming another Nollywood hub. He will not come to Lagos. He will be in Asaba, edit videos. Now, let me tell you, I was in Niger State a month ago. If I tell you the amazing talents I saw in Mina, you will not believe it. Amazing talents. And most people in this room don't know that there's also a northern boy from Sokoto State who designs vehicle for Chevrolet in the US. That is how smart we are as a people. But what we lack is the understanding, the government support, the institutional support, the private sector support to understand that this is the time for us to rethink education, for us to rethink the digital skills space. In the next 10 years, if your business is not online, you are not in business, no matter what it is. Most people also don't understand why the churches are successful. Sorry that I go back to the churches, right? Because they are one of the successful industries in Nigeria. They are successful because they understand change. Immediately COVID started, or when the guys moved online, people were paying tithe online. Why didn't you move your training online? So that people can learn online. You see the mindset. It's a mindset problem that we need to reset. This is what we have created with GetBundi. We have created an opportunity for Nigeria, an opportunity for Africa to educate African youths in English, Pidgin English, and in any other indigenous language that is spoken across Africa. This is our goal. We want to be able to educate 20 million Nigerians, 20 million Africans between now and 2030. This is our initiative. It doesn't matter to us in that language or in the language that they understand the technical skill. But what matters to us is that we can present this man here and say that he's a data scientist, and you work on it from today till the next month. He is a data scientist. We want to be able to make sure that people who come to our platform understand what we set out to teach them and not the language at which they understand it. Now let me show you or tell you how we fool ourselves as Africans. Anybody who understands Hausa here will understand this better. BBC came into Nigeria to come and make money. They didn't come here as a foundation. They came to make money, to promote their platform, to reach this number of people that will, of course, bring them business because the eyeballs translate to money. BBC operated in Nigeria and they looked at the Nigerian landscape and they understood clearly that the Northerners listened to the radio more than any other part of Nigeria. This is the statistics we are talking about. And in the understanding that the Northerners listened to the radio more than any other part of Nigeria, they understood also that they like it in their language. BBC, we were all in Nigeria, BBC came and started BBC Hausa. Do you know the number of people that listen to BBC every day in Hausa language? If you want to broadcast anything in the North, take it to BBC, put it in the Hausa news, then you will see the number of people you reach. They looked at the market and they didn't understand what was happening in the other part of Nigeria. They understood quickly that the only way a Yoruba boy and an Igbo boy who don't understand these two languages will communicate will be Pidgin English. They moved to BBC Pidgin. Google looked at this thing and saw that they were losing market, that the source of information has moved. Google quickly turned their website and their platform into a platform where you get into Google. If you want your news in Pidgin, you click Pidgin. So are you saying to me that Africans can't see that Google has given you Google search engine in Pidgin English, in Hausa and Igbo and Yoruba to get you because they know that's what you speak? That BBC have given you the BBC Hausa and they've gotten you because they know what you speak, and the government cannot across Africa give ourselves education in our indigenous languages so that we can thrive. Sad. We are leading a revolution with GetBundi, and our target is to train 20 million Africans in English and in any other African language that they understand, so that we will build a formidable workforce that will stay in Africa and work for companies overseas and bring the remittance back into Africa to help build Africa. This is our And today, we thank God for a lot of collaborations that has happened, and some of them would be premature for me to say, but a lot of collaborations have happened. In the due course, we will make that public, but some of them are so interesting that it will help us achieve this our dream. It's not going to be easy. We know it won't be easy, but we will continue to push on this path. We have several meetings with the African Union. We are pushing an agenda that is very revolutionary, but we know that the people that we are talking to understand it, and we believe that hopefully, by the grace of God, we will be able to get to this day. Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you so much, sir. Deputy General of National Information Technology Development Agency, Mr. to have his own speech. Please, welcome, sir. Please, a round of applause for him, please.
The Honorable Minister, ably represented by the district, and distinguished colleagues that are here, I want to say good morning to everyone. Good morning to everyone. Thank you very much. I'm really excited to be here this morning to be part of this emerging trend. I'm here to represent the Director General of National Information Technology Development Agency, Kashifu Abdullahi, who is unavoidably absent. As you may have heard in the news, Nigeria has just recently signed an MOU with the Dubai World Trade Center to bring in GITEX Africa in Nigeria by 2025. And he was instrumental to that signature. That's why presently he is still in Marrakesh and maybe on his way back to Nigeria. That's to tell you why he's not present and has asked me to represent him at this very important occasion. And having listened to the various speakers speak on the importance, number one, of digital literacy and also gender inclusion, it becomes very important and imperative. I'll make a simple reference to what we are doing as an agency in that regard. The National Information Technology Development Agency is an agency under the Federal Ministry of Communication, Innovation, and Digital Economy. We have been set aside to develop frameworks, develop standards, and also guidelines and regulation for the IT ecosystem in general. And having said that as a brief introduction, we have come up with a vision. And our vision is in alignment to implement the 5 strategic pillars as the Federal Ministry of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy has set out in the digital blueprint for the nation's digital economy. And that is also making reference to what the federal government as a whole in this 8-point agenda, which ranges from that of reforming the economy to providing a kind of accelerated and specific efficient service delivery, as has been outlined by the federal government as its own 8-point agenda. Taking a look at that and taking cognizance of this fact, our agency has been set out to implement the vision of the federal government in transforming the economy. And what we have done to that effect is to come up with a strategic roadmap and action plan. And our vision is very clear in that strategic roadmap and action plan. Our desire is to make Nigeria an IT digital capable nation, fostering inclusive economic development through technological innovation. And in trying to implement that vision, we have come up with 8-point agenda or 8 strategic blueprints where we will refer to as our point of excellence. And the first pillar in that position on that particular implementation program is that of fostering digital literacy and cultivating talent. And that aligns with what GetBundi is doing and what all other speakers have said is doing. We recognize the importance of empowering our young ones, empowering the entire nation with digital skills if they are going to play effectively within the digital economy space. As you all agree with me, technology has transformed the way we live our lives. Technology has transformed the way we work. Technology has transformed the way we do all things in this world. And if you're not playing effectively in technological space, the implication is that you are not playing at all. And if you're not digitally literate, even as at this moment, and you cannot play effectively within the digital space, it is possible that in the next few years, you as an individual will be forgotten. AI has come into place, and AI makes use of data. Now, you can now use ChatGPT to make reference to search. And if they search for you within the digital space and you are not found with digital space, even if you are alive, it is possible that you cannot be recognized. You cannot be recognized and cannot be remembered. And that shows the importance of becoming digitally literate and playing effectively within the digital space, and imperative if any community, if any society, if any venture at all will succeed in this our digital arena. Now, having said that, what are we doing in the area of digital literacy? Now, it's very clear we have set on our agenda that by 2027, we will achieve 70%. We will ensure that 70% of Nigerians are digitally literate. And in doing that, we have come up with some specific programs. And that programs include Digital for All initiative. Now, if you have been listening over the news recently, you could see that there was a launch and there was a discussion on that, which was heralded by the First Lady himself, which was a few days ago, brought into the space. And what that means is that we want to empower as many as possible, going through this process and going through our platform to be digitally literate, not only in English, but in specific indigenous languages that the people can relate with. And that's why we are partnering with as many interest groups as possible, and that's why we are particularly interested in what GetBundi is doing in terms of indigenizing digital literacy, making it to speak in the language that every one of us will understand. We are not only stopping at that, we are also maybe some of us have heard about the program they call the 3MTT. NIDA is also supporting the 3MTT program because we have the intention of building 3 million talents in terms of specific digital skills that is both exportable and also can be utilized here in Nigeria. Now, when GetBundi professor was speaking, he said something, he made some little analysis, and he took it very far. He was talking about 20 million. I want us to use just use about 3 million. Calculate it yourself. If you have 3 million who are digitally empowered, who have the requisite digital skills to work whether here in Nigeria or outside Nigeria, and if they are trained, now multiply just if they are earning about $2,000 every month. Just you can use a calculator. In a year, if 1.5 million are trained and they are just earning $2,000, now if you imagine the amount of money that can come in dollars instead of remittances to Nigeria as a whole. Now, if you now extend that and increase that number to 2 million, 3 million, and 4 million, 5 million, you can understand what that will translate to. And that's why we have recognized, knowing fully well that 60% of Nigerian population are youth. And that is our primary target. That if we're able to equip and empower these young people, then Nigeria will have a very bright, good digital future. We are not stopping at that also. The second pillar of our roadmap and action plan speaks about building a robust technological innovation research ecosystem. Now, in this area, we are planning that we are going to establish centers of excellence that is going to be focused in the areas of emerging technology, especially AI, robotics, UAV, additive material, and the likes. Our goal is that we want to raise Nigeria's position in terms of percentile and their position in terms of the AI ranking to that of 25th percentile. The program has already started. If you also listen to the news in the last 1 month or so, we had an AI strategy, a co-creation strategy where we gathered close to about 150 experts in Nigeria and Abuja through the Federal Ministry of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy, sitting down together for a whole 4 or 5 days to deliberate and discuss to come up with an AI strategy that is going to work for every one of us. Now, the idea is that at the end of the day, we should have had a document that is co-created with indigenous practice in mind, co-created with the practitioners in mind, so that it can be our own document and put it into place so that we can put Nigeria, in the global map of those who are focusing in the use of AI to be able to solve local problems. Now, we cannot always know what we also have now the topic that talk about strengthening policy implementation and legal framework. We have come up with a lot of standards, to be able to create enabling environment for private practitioners as many who want to practice and take advantage of what we are doing in the industry to effectively work without any problem. Now, our approach in terms of creating standards and regulations is that of co-creation. As we gather together, we will take input from the people who are part of the industry, coming together, sitting together, to agree together to come up with standards, come up with regulations that will be beneficial for the industry. So our focus in terms of developmental regulation is that of developmental. A regulation that will actually unlock the market, a regulation that will actually create business, and a regulation that will help change the business model and create a kind of a enabling environment for the practitioners themselves to grow. So that's the kind of regulation we are looking at. So in terms of regulation, I'm sure most of us know about the Nigerian Startup Act. That's exactly how it came about, to unlock potentials, to create new businesses, and also generate new business models so that people can have access and do their businesses with the right kind of regulation backing and supporting them. The startup portal is already up there, and labeling had already started. For those of us who want to enjoy and be part of what the federal government is doing in terms of trying to support the startup, can register their businesses in startup portal so that they can be labeled, licensed, and recognized as a true startup. So that if there are incentives that are coming up to such things, they'll be able to benefit from it. Not only that, we have our first thing that we talks about promoting inclusive access to digital services. Now, that is where inclusiveness comes in. In this area, we have an objective of ensuring that 40% of gender, that means women, to be included in any of our programs, in any of our digital enterprise. 40% of the gender, which is women, are specifically set aside to be a kind of in any program we are having, maybe it's training, maybe it's empowerment, or maybe it's any program we are having, we must ensure that we have 40% of women included. So inclusiveness is also part of our agenda. In this case also, we are hoping and we are planning that we are going to build a kind of e-learning centers across the 36 states of Federation and Abuja, where people can walk in and learn, build their skills, and also do whatever digital services that particular center could offer. Now, we have also our fifth pillar, which has to do with enhancing cybersecurity and that of digital trust. Now, we are believing and we are trusting that we need to create an environment, an enabling environment that is secure for people to actually transact their business. In this area, we are looking at having a robust public key infrastructure that will help those of us who are practicing and doing business in the digital space to have confidence in doing business within the digital space. That means it is possible that you do a business so that we're able to recognize that you are whom you said that you are. That is exactly what the public key infrastructure will help us to enable. So we are building regulations in that regard. We also have our sixth pillar, which has to do with a kind of nurturing an innovation ecosystem, nurturing an innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem. In this case, we want to encourage domiciliation of Nigerian startups. That means the kind of businesses will have local content. Not only that, we also want to encourage and see how we can kind of make more money from what the startup people are doing, and also expose them to both local and international fora. They will have the opportunity to also pitch, have also to scale their businesses, and also expand their businesses. We will support that through, like I said, through the National Nigerian Startup Act. Now we have our sixth pillar, our seventh pillar, which talks about strategic partnership and collaboration. That's where every one of us seated in this room comes into play. Now we are poised towards collaborating with everybody. We recognize that we cannot do this business alone. We recognize that everything I have said, including that of achieving 70% digital literacy by 2027, we cannot do it alone. That's why we want your cooperation. We are already partnering with other organizations. GetBundi is part of those we are trying to partner with because of the indigenous local content that they provide, and also open to partner with as many, whether individuals, whether organizations, to ensure that the entire Nigerians, especially 70% of Nigerians, are digitally literate by the year 2027. That is our goal. And we have the last pillar, which has to do with actually our internal reforms, because we believe that we will have a kind of a robust organizational culture and also an agile workforce. Because we believe that if we build the right kind of capacity, if we build the right kind of competencies, that we are able to improve our system. And if we improve our system, then we are sure that we are going to meet our stakeholders' expectations. But if we don't have no such capacity, internal capacity, if we don't have such internal capability, then meeting our stakeholder expectation will be a very difficult one for us. And that's why we have that purpose in terms of having our own internal organizational reorientation. creating a psychological safety environment where everyone is free to innovate, where everyone is free to query the process, challenge the process, so that we can be innovative, trying to solve our internal problem that will provide a solution for our stakeholders who are actually waiting out there to see how the problems, that is existing within our society can also be addressed. One thing we must understand that, in as much as there are many challenges in Nigeria, it provides the greatest opportunity for us to innovate. Now, we are talking about digital literacy today. There are great opportunities for us to innovate around digital literacy and provide solutions to our teenage population, which are still digitally illiterate as at this moment. I want to tell us now, we are poised to move ahead because our strategy is very, very clear. Our intention is very, very clear. We have the internal capacity. Our leadership is resolute, and collaboration and partnership is our key strategic imperative. Therefore, I use this opportunity where we are here to welcome and invite every one of us to come. Let us join our hands together to build a new digital future with digital Nigeria. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
Right now, we're going to have our tea break. Let's move to the bar to have our tea break over there.
Once again, it's a pleasure to have you here at this wonderful occasion. After the tea break, we'll continue the program with the panel session, and we'll proceed with all the other modalities and programs for the day. So, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to announce that breakfast is so go ahead. Bon appetit. And the Chief Executive Officer of GetBundi. Okay, so I'll start with you, Doctor. Doctor, please tell us more about digital literacy.
Thank you very much for that question. In trying to enlighten us on the concept and the content, perhaps the characteristics of digital literacy, the context of literacy have been within the parameters of those who can read and those who can write. Just as the lawyers will always say, if you don't belong to the class, you are on learning. But I'm here to say today that without digital literacy, you may not appropriately be classified as being literate as such. The reason is the era of reading and writing as the only vernacular, as the only means of defining literacy has actually gradually going into extinction. So you are ability to use digital devices, manipulate digital devices, and perhaps the things you should have done ordinarily with your normal papers and your normal activity, you are able to proceed to utilize the devices that are available, the tools that are available, and within the digital space, you are able to, take advantage of those things ordinarily you would have done in a normal platform. You can now use the digital tools to do them, and at that time, at that level, you could be classified to be digitally literate. That means when you have your computer, you have your phones, you have all the devices that are referred to as digital tools, and you're able to efficiently, effectively operate, use them, not only using them, but use them to accomplish your desired intention, your desired purpose, your desired service, access services, manipulate services, and even share services, then you could also be referred as one who is digitally literate in that context.
There are various classifications. Perhaps if you have come across our digital literacy framework in terms of purely making efforts to see how we can have a particular uniformity in trying to describe who a digital literate person is, and the things and the competencies you need to have to be able to be formally to be defined as a digital literate person is actually found in that digital literacy framework, in the national digital literacy framework, what the government have developed as a general guideline in defining and operating and then actually classifying competencies for digital literacy. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Aristotle. So over to you, Barrister Osita. Please tell us how practical it is to achieve 70% digital literacy level in Nigeria.
So in Nigeria and in all over Africa, because we are Pan-African, we believe very strongly that digital literacy level of 70% and above can be achieved. It is very practical. It has been achieved in so many other countries. Estonia has a very high digital literacy level, Japan too. India even has also a very high digital literacy level. But it is not what you wish by saying it. You have to take very proactive, intentional steps towards achieving a high digital literacy level. So for a country like Nigeria, and this is one of the discussions that is ongoing between us and NIFDA, I can tell you that yes, digital literacy is possible to achieve 70% in Nigeria, but you have to look at it beyond the framework at which digital literacy is developed globally. You have to look at the challenges. So for a country like Nigeria to achieve a high digital literacy level, first you have to think in which language are you teaching that. So the tools to teach digital literacy will include, of course, language. So you have to create reading material in various languages, teaching materials in various languages. You have to have ambassadors across all sectors. So for the sake of this conversation, you have to bring in the market people. So if you want to teach digital literacy, you have to consider the people in the rural areas. So you have to have what we classify and need to understand that as well. It's also part of their framework, what is called like competence areas. So what are the competence areas? In which areas do you think that affects digital literacy framework? You get them. Once it is classified, you create your content to teach those areas. And you have to understand also that there are so many other issues that are involved in teaching them. So you're talking about digital literacy. That means first you've called it digital, then the other one you've called it literacy. So being digital, you have to look at the digital space. You cannot teach digital literacy in a country like Nigeria if you don't have access to the internet. Now, in places where you don't have access to the internet, how can you teach digital literacy in those areas? So you now begin to look at the churches or the mosques or the organizations or the market women. So there are so many factors that can come into play. So what I'm saying is that digital literacy, to achieve 70% digital literacy for Nigeria is possible. It can be achieved, but you have to look at all the competency areas and look at also all the collaboration that you must bring in place for you to be able to, for it to happen. For the sake of this conversation, let's look at it like this, right? So, yesterday, I think it was our IT people that went to Ikeja to buy a card. right, for the camera, and they say that the market doesn't open until 12 o'clock. So they do like somebody is a cleaning up or something that they do in the market area. Now, imagine if we collaborate with the market leaders, and if every Thursday they open at 12 o'clock, we come there by 11. After 11, they're shut down. We teach them just one aspect of digital literacy. You see, we have taken out the infrastructure need. We have taken out the internet need at the point. We have taken out a whole lot of obstacles or difficulties that make digital literacy a problem to penetrate around Africa. So we go to the market, we take the teaching to the market. Do you understand? So between that 11 o'clock and 12, that 1 hour window, we can teach them how to use USSD. Tell them what USSD is, how to use it, and how to do transactions. We can teach them an aspect of cybersecurity, which is, of course, safety, which is part of so a very strong component of digital literacy. But at that point, they didn't have to have internet for them to learn it. They didn't have to have light for them to learn it. We brought teaching together. So what I'm saying is that, yes, it is possible to achieve 70% digital literacy in Nigeria, but you have to look at all the components. What makes it possible, what eliminates difficulties and the challenges that we face as a people in Nigeria and across Africa. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Farugo. So coming back to you, sir. Well, an issue has been raised about infrastructure, poor infrastructure being one of the major factors mitigating against the promotion of digital literacy in Nigeria. How will NITDA provide, so what advocacy measures is NITDA going to pursue towards the provision of better infrastructure with respect to digital services, which are your core area?
Thank you very much for that question. The issue of digital infrastructure is not only a challenge in Nigeria, it's an African challenge. If you look at research, again, it should be an inhibiting factor as well. Why do I say that? You know, when you collaborate and when you partner, the purpose of partnership and collaboration is to leverage on expertise and also share resources. Now, having said that, you will agree with me that if we are going to achieve the 70% digital literacy, yes, infrastructure appears to be a challenge, but not an insurmountable challenge. We can take advantage of what we have at present and also continue to scale. I want to tell you that across the 774 local government areas in Nigeria, I doubt if there are no local governments where NITDA has a presence, especially in the provision of our e-learning spaces. That is number one. And number two, there are other government agencies also that have presence in terms of some of these digital infrastructures across the Nigerian Federation, which also we can also leverage on. Having said that, I'm also aware there is a 774 program that is going across the 774 local government area in Nigeria, where it's a fiber program where internet infrastructure is being provided through some of the government services, government service providers to the local government. And in that case, the agency has made that comes with a combo package where they put digital tools for people to access to use within the context of this framework of 774 model. Again, there are many other services, especially there are other private NGOs who are also working or doing one thing or the other within the local government areas in Nigeria, which also we intend and we also partner with them to ensure that we overcome the challenge of lack of digital infrastructure that we want to inhibit this particular goal of achieving 70% data literacy by the year 2027. So there are multiple avenues that we get to leverage on, while the superstructure will continue to evolve in terms of development. But I really not believe from our own space that some of these infrastructural problem is going to be a hindrance, because there are multiple layers and multiple approaches through which we can use to navigate the issue of infrastructure and also get these services delivered to a common man, which is our target. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A resounding round of applause. So now the next question has to do with public-private sector collaborations, because we know that has always been the hallmark of the Nigerian government, because we know government will not be able to do everything together, everything alone. So it's always a better win-win situation when the public and private sectors come together. So, Barrister Oparugo, how will GetBundi support NIDA and indeed the public sector in the enhancement of the levels of digital literacy in Nigeria?
Okay, so that's an interesting question. So government is government, right? And they do the business of government. So the private sector, us as an EdTech platform, we do the business of educating people in this space. So there's a whole lot that we can cover, right? And there's a very strong possible connection between NIDA, GetBundi, and of course, so many other EdTech platforms in massifying digital literacy, in reaching or trying to get to a critical mass. So what is there for the sake of this discussion, right? And I think Doctor knows, maybe if you don't know, Doctor, I tell you, GetBundi is sitting on Amazon Cloud. GetBundi is robustly engineered in the United States, and this platform can take 10, 20 million Africans at the same time and not shake. So this infrastructural partnership is what we can bring to a government agency like NIDA. If you want to train 50 million Nigerians, for instance, we can say to NIDA, you know what, we house the educational content, right, on our platform, right? So we partner with a government agency like NIDA, right? And then they leverage our technology and our platform to reach a critical mass. So in the area of education or the post-primary education system that I mentioned earlier, imagine where UNICEF or UNESCO, have said that Africa needs 9.5 million teachers in the next 10 years to be able to educate the number of people that are in Africa, and that of course will get to post-primary school age. It is not easy to create 9.5 million teachers, but it is easy for GetBundi to do the work of 9.5 million teachers, because we can hold 21 live classes simultaneously at the same time. Meaning, if we have 21 live classes simultaneously at the same time on a platform, it can teach what 9.5 million teachers will teach. Do you get? So for NIDA, we have a platform that can help NIDA reach the 75% digital literacy level. We have a platform that can support the digital transformation across Nigeria and indeed across Africa. We are open for partnership. We are discussing with NIDA. We are discussing with so many organizations in Nigeria and across Africa for partnership. So many other countries, Zambia, has shown great interest, Zimbabwe great interest, and we're in Malawi, and we're talking across Africa. And we hope that they understand that government has to do the business of government. Platforms like us do the business of platform. There has to be the synergy coming together so that we can reach a critical mass. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Barrister Osita Parugo. I believe you've done justice to the matters at hand. So we proceed to the next question, and this goes to Dr. Aristotle. Please tell us more about how NIDA plans to secure the digital space as more people engage in online transactions.
Thank you very much. I think that is very, very critical for us, in the sense that, you know, you can walk into a bank and you don't have fear in your mind as you're inside the bank as such that anybody is coming to take your money from you. Bank is a physical building and it's a physical space. And before we get to that level of that kind of maturity that you can walk into a physical space and you just have that confidence, you may not even see any policeman at all within the inside the banking hall, but you just have that confidence in you that you can carry your money in a bag and go and make deposit and nobody's going to take it away from you. Now, it took a lot of time to build that kind of confidence. So what we are looking at, we want to see a cyber space where he who said whom he is truly whom he is. You create a space for the safety of digital transaction and also to make efforts to mitigate every form of digital crime that may want to arise, and also to create necessary awareness. You know, ordinarily, you don't give people you don't just give anybody you see your access to your account number, or you don't just do that. You don't do it like that. You don't give anybody your identity so that they can have access to your physical account details in your bank. So also, you must understand that if you are online, there are some elementary ethics and cyber hygiene that you also need to understand, so that you don't just, because you're online, you just open up yourself and deliver everything that is traceable to your own personal identity, to every other person, to mitigate that area. Now, apart from creating awareness, we, like I said earlier, we have a strategic focus on enhancing cybersecurity and building digital trust. And in that regard, like I said, we are working with other relevant stakeholders to come up with a regulation and framework for the operation of public key infrastructure, which we believe is something that will enhance the safety of digital transaction. Not only that, we are also collaborating with other other SATs across the globe to ensure that we mitigate and also create adversary role in terms of cyber attacks. Sometimes some of those advice that we give will help you to understand that this is the nature of the attack, or this is the nature of the activity of the criminals in the cyber world. It also helps individuals themselves to be able to take care and have the elementary understanding about some of the cyber hygiene. Awareness is very critical. Putting the robust infrastructure to help us to manage the entire cyberspace is also very critical. And we are all working towards that, so that by 2027, we will have achieved the high level, to a level of 50% in terms of managing and ensuring that our cyberspace is also free for us to conduct our digital transactions.
Thank you very much, Doctor. You nailed it. So, over to you, Barrister Parugo. GetBundi. That's your second name, GetBundi. So, how are you planning to expand the frontiers as regards your product and services offering to the various components of the Nigerian government.
Okay, so each time you say Nigerian government, then I say African, because you already called me GetBundi, right? And Bundi is an African word. So it's a Swahili word for smart, knowledge, or wisdom. So the same question I will answer for Nigeria, I will answer for the whole of Africa, for the sake of our platform, and then of course my personal belief as a Pan-African. Okay, so having said that, right, it's all about collaboration. So in the edtech space, you cannot do it alone. We are open to collaborate with government. We are open to collaborate with government agencies. We are open to collaborate with private agencies as well, private companies, foundations, NGOs, so many of them across Africa doing exceptional work. In fact, 2 months ago, I met with this lady from Uganda, and she has trained over 40,000 people in Uganda in various skill sets. She's doing an awesome work out of Uganda. And we are talking. We have just recently signed an undertaking to support a foundation in Zimbabwe with the training of 1,000 people over 6 months. We are open to collaboration, and we think that in this way we will reach a number of people and will support what we call the GetBundi initiative. Because most of these people have the numbers. You know, on Sunday, just this Sunday, we were at the State House in Abuja on the invitation of Her Excellency, the wife of the President, as DG Nita and the wife of the President launched the University for All initiative. And right in that room, we were able to meet with 3 or 4 organizations who support education and digital transformation across Nigeria and indeed across Africa. And 2 of them has actually materialized into, a strong discussion for us, okay? So we are here to give a service. And the service that we are here to give is a service that requires everyone in this room, beyond the government, to be part of what we are creating, right? Like this gentleman sitting over there, he's doing an amazing work with his American partners. You may not know, but during COVID, there was this company in the US that did what is called digital twin. If you enter into America and they take your fingerprint, they will definitely tell you wherever you are at any time during that pandemic era. That company is coming into Africa. They are doing so many in the telemedicine area, and that is their representative in the whole of Africa sitting right over there. An engineer sitting right over there. We are discussing with him to do a whole lot, leveraging our platform to educate people in the telemedicine space. So there are so many other things that are coming out of so many partnerships with NGOs and organizations. And I think that the head of our foundation will talk more about some other things and the collaborations that is ongoing. So yes, for NIGDA, we are open to work with NIGDA, we are open to work with other government agencies in Nigeria and across Africa. And we are also open to work with foundations. I've just seen someone who will connect me back to my friends, the prof and his family. And I also know that in the next 1 or 2 weeks, we will be looking at how we can support women with what we are doing with our Texas initiative. And the Texas initiative is geared towards promoting only women. It's a reversal of the hate pro that you hear out there. We have turned it into a Texas. Last year, we trained 500 women for free. In coding this year, I think we are training over 1,000 women in web development and data analytics for free. So there's a whole lot that we're doing in all borders of collaboration, collaborating with government and government agencies, collaborating with NGOs, donor agencies, developmental agencies, and of course, the Deputy High Commissioner of Canada was here. We are looking at that as well. We're talking to several other foreign governments. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Vice President. Once again, your proven capacity and sagacity in tech space. And thank you very much, Director, Dr. Aristotle. So with this ends this panel session, and it's really a pleasure and a privilege to have two giants on the panel. Thank you very much.
Questions? Okay.
Okay, so we're having the Q&A session. Pardon me. So we're having the Q&A session. Questions, please.
Thank you, gentlemen. Good afternoon. I have listened with a lot of rapt attention to the work that Lita is doing, and of course, we are very familiar with the work that Lita is doing. And so I have two questions, one to each of the panel. The first is going to Dr. Aristotle. In your keynote address, you did talk about the 5 areas in which Lita is pioneering certain projects and initiatives in Nigeria. And you did say that you were really tapping on rich millions. And so my question is to ask you, sir, what are the assets or infrastructures that partners can leverage on? You did say that you have infrastructure in 774 local governments. So could you share what they are, where they are, so we can also tap into that? That's question 1. Question 2 is to Mr. Sita. And I'm just curious, GetBundi, we've heard about it all morning, and maybe the next part of the point would be in terms of getting involved. Is it a paid program for people to access the platform or get educated on it, or is it free? It's good to know so that we can also mobilize people towards the platform. Thank you.
Okay, let me attempt to provide a guided answer to the question from our sister, and incidentally, they are among those that we have been working with, and we also intend to work with. Our question is centered on the physical infrastructure, which I spoke about in my very few remarks. Yes, we have what we call digital economy centers. And these digital economy centers, as the case may be, though it can be represented e-learning, neither learning centers or digital skill learning centers. Now, it is in most cases, you will find them in local governments, or sometimes you find them in schools, and then across the federation, across the 704 local government areas in the federation. You can find them in schools, sometimes you find them in local government headquarters, or you find them in designated community centers. Now, these learning spaces that we are talking about have computers. They have computers. Some of them have internet. Because what NIDA does in terms of providing some of this infrastructure in the local government is to enhance and also to ensure that especially internet access and other IT services reach out to some of our rural areas that wouldn't have had any opportunity to enjoy such services ordinarily. So that's where those centers are located. You can reach us in terms of specific areas. Perhaps you are interested in doing something, or you're interested in leveraging on those infrastructures, especially what I've just mentioned.
You can reach us in the office. We'll be able to provide you with specific locations and perhaps contact addresses where how you can reach out to those locations, and also perhaps engage further in terms of how the discussions are going to go in terms of managing and taking advantage of those services. Yes, they are there. Just contact us, reach out to us in the office, and we'll be able to discuss with you and share maybe the location, the contact persons. And if there are some that are already people are taking advantage of already, we can also let you know about that and let you see how both of us can collaborate and stream and massify this concept of digital literacy across Nigeria. Thank you.
So thank you very much for your question. So we have a business model. Our business model is subscription on demand. So the STEM, we have the STEM, which covers the 6 years of post-primary education. And in covering the 6 years of post-primary education, the platform has 6,000 multiple choice questions. So in each of the secondary school year, you have 1,000 multiple choice questions. Like I said, that the platform is robustly engineered. Our platform is engineered in a way that, let's say you have a boy, right? So your son is junior, right? And you're going to work and you're junior. When you come back from school, watch 12 videos, right? 6 in English, 6 in mathematics, let's say it's in SS4, and you come back. So you don't need to ask, oh, junior, did you do it or not? You just go back to our platform, click on junior's profile, goes to his dashboard, and our platform will be able to tell you when he logged in, when he logged out, how many videos he watched, how many of the multiple choice questions he attempted, whether he passed, whether he failed. You'll be able to follow it from there. In fact, our platform is engineered in a way that it can also respond with you and be able to send you emails. We are working with our developers now to integrate AI into our platform, so you can also ask our platform question wherever you are of how your son is doing on our platform, and our platform will be able to reply that to you. That is on post-primary education. And in that post-primary education, which is secondary school, we also have daily live tutorials, right? So we don't want parents bringing people, into their homes anymore. It is good, but sometimes also it's very bad. I may not tell you of the experiences we've had people talk to us about what foreigners or strangers do in the name of home tutors, right? So we have created what we call the GetBundi secondary school community. So if you have kids who are in SS1, for instance, right, every day between 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. every day, although apart from Sundays, right, we have daily tutorial on our platform. Okay, so in that way, you don't need to bother about bringing multiple teachers to your home. You can have 1 teacher, 2, 3 teachers teach your kids online. They don't need to go out of your house, right? If you haven't also got the money to do that, the platform is there open. It's just 5,000 naira a month. Your kids will have access to our platform, multiple choice questions and everything that they need there. So you either do the monthly one without live class, or you do the one with the live class, depending on your project and how it intends to run. And you guys, I know you guys are a foundation. You can come to us as a foundation and say, that you know what, let's get into partnership. We have 20 secondary schools in Ebonyi State or in Niger State to train. So all you do, pay us, maybe probably a subsidized price for 20 schools. We will deliver our service to that 20 schools. So do you get? So in that way, I know you can support 20 people. You can come to us. So like the Venerable over there, right? So Venerable can come to us and say, you know what? We have 20 rich people in our church. We get these 20 rich people in our church to give us 1 million naira each, and 20 of them will give 20 million, and this 20 million will give it to GetBundi, and we say, GetBundi, offer your service to all the secondary school kids who belong to families who come to this church. that is part of the service that we do. So I hope that before you guys leave, after you eat that beautiful cake, my cousin and his wife and their son Greg brought for me and for my team, beautiful team. I have amazing people, very young. I'm the oldest in the team. So after you eat our cake, I hope before you leave, you are able to sponsor 1 million people so GetBundi will make money. Thank you very much.
Questions. So the first question is to Nita. You are aware that we are working with you on the National Digital Literacy Framework to transform, the Nigerian populace. But I have a concern. With your target as Nita to reach 95%, if I'm correct, by 2030. So my question is, how do you intend to do this, given the fact that Nigerians are resistant to change? In this case, let's be realistic. How many of us are ready to transform? So how do you intend to do that as Nita? Then my other question is to Osita. Your indigenization is very fantastic. I'm an advocate for it, and I'm very happy. So my question is, how is your platform open to take other courses apart from what you do currently? Is your platform open to take other courses? Because as of now, we are also developing a digital skills for entrepreneurship course, particularly for women and youth, by GIZ. So I'm already thinking of how to bring all of this together. So if your platform is able to do that, please let us know so we can carry on with the conversation. Then my comment now is that because we don't want to reinvent the wheel, so many people are already doing things in this space. So this curriculum we are developing, we also want to test, the acceptability of it, how people relate to it. So I want to use this opportunity to invite everybody, if you're interested, to a validation workshop. So if you're interested in joining that validation workshop, I'm still here after the program, so we can enrich as much as possible what we are trying to do with digitalization in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, GIZ. That's a very, we are one of our strong partners in this journey of digital transformation. Thank you for that question. The question of how, yes, the program is, the proclamation is a laudable one. Our intention, long-term intention, is to achieve that 95% by the year 2030, and we have a midterm target, which I have emphasized, of achieving 75% digital literacy by 2027. Now the question is how? And that question is anchored on our natural instinct, which is human instinct to resistance to change. But I want to put this question across. I'm not sure any one of us is created to fly. Is anyone that naturally humans are not created to fly? But today, we enter aeroplane. Am I right? No one will want to say, I want to trek from here to Abuja because I resist change. Now, where I'm putting that across to us is that in as much as it appears that human resist change by nature, I say use the word appears, but it discovered that when it becomes a necessity, no matter the level of intended resistance, it feels away. Before now, when need came up, people were, it was difficult for people to register and go and take their need. But when it becomes an imperative, a necessity, and it becomes a condition for those who want to go and do their job, I'm not sure that anybody could write JAM now without having the need number. So the people who want to write JAMB, nobody's going to come to them now to give them name. They will have to go themselves and to go and register and get the name. Now, apart from the various initiatives that we have at the moment, in terms of encouraging the people, encouraging the masses to take advantage and get themselves digitally literate, we are also working on working the Federal Ministry of Education so that we can mainstream digital literacy curriculum into the overall teaching process and developmental process of our educational system. What that means is, by the time you have spent 6 years in primary schools, 6 years in secondary school, you should have been digitally literate enough to play around with every form of digital tool and digital services that is available, because we have gone through a whole lot of the system. So when we have a new curriculum, in the long run, it becomes a part and parcel of our educational system. That's what we are also doing that. Now, not only that, like I just said earlier, we have just recently launched a program that has to do with data literacy for all initiative. In that case also, we are through partners. GetBundi have said something in terms of a modular approach towards reaching out the masses. Perhaps community approach, religious approach, and also taking advantage of NGOs and those who do services. Take for instance, if we decide or we have a partner to come up to take maybe for every to get about maybe like 250 or 350 youth corpers in every local government, for instance. And if you multiply by 774, you may have close about 50,000 corpers who may be referred to as digital ambassadors. Now, if those guys are being trained and given skills and also empowered, because I hardly today you see any corper who does not have a smartphone. And if you already have a smartphone, and that means you may have been doing one form of a digital activity or the other. Now, having that smartphone will also help you at a greater point for you to leverage on our platform. We already have a platform. We are also partnering with other organizations, including GetBundi, to also have a digital learning platform through which we can massify this digital literacy across board. Now, if you're able to help a local farmer, for instance, you get him to understand that, because you have your farming, you have your little beans and your locality, you'll be able to get him to see how he can make someone who is staying in his the headquarters of local government to pay for that particular beans or yam that is cultivated in his village, and get that supply without him traveling, taking the risk of traveling to that place to go and supply that particular material. Now, if he does it quite and sees how easy it is, nobody will tell him that the digital platform becomes a veritable avenue, a cheaper avenue, a more secure avenue to transact business and to make his product to become more versatile. And if that goes on, and people get aware of the benefit of the source services they are going to get through digital services, I'm telling you that it will not only be that they will resist change, but they will embrace change. At the end of the day, we have ended up, massifying digital literacy, creating opportunity for people to be empowered, and creating opportunity for businesses to expand. And at the end of the day, the Nigerians, the youth, the young people, and those in local areas will be the one that will benefit from it. And that's exactly why we are keenly interested in collaboration and partnership as a key strategic pillar towards driving the vision of making Nigeria a digital empowered, fostering inclusive economic development through digital innovation. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Doctor, your English is too much. Thank you very much. I like what you guys are doing at Linda, and of course, we will continue to partner to see that digital literacy level is achieved. So to answer your question, yes. So you see, our platform it's designed to accommodate beyond, digital skills. Digital skills, yes, what we offer is our core offering, okay? But the entrepreneurship programs, you can see it. So we are not a website, right? GetBundi is not a website. GetBundi is a platform, is a learning management system platform. So that's why I say to you that it can sit, take 21 million people, 30, 40 million people, swallow it and stand. So you can bring your entire architecture as a company and sit it on our platform. So we give you a specific APR or a channel that sits your architecture on our platform, and you can sit 1,000 videos or 2,000 videos that speak to your audience on your entrepreneurship courses. Okay, so that means whoever comes to our platform, so you just do www.getbundi.com, that brings you into our LMS space. You come into LMS space, you identify G's for the sake of this conversation, you click on it, it opens on all your courses, you do your thing, and you get out of that system, right? So yes, we do have that. We are discussing with a university in England. Reading is one of their business schools, is one of the oldest business schools in England and in the whole of Europe as well. We are discussing with that university now to sit their entire entrepreneurship courses for Africa on our platform. So yes, I can tell you that that is very doable. Our engineers are waiting, they are open 24/7 to discuss your needs, and we can partner along that line. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Osita, for introducing me mildly. I humbly accept whatever you have said. Mine is just to make a small comment, not a question, to let the audience probably have a little bit of an insight of the little information that you can do. Our platform, working together with this, is a platform that is one of the best in the world. We have patented rights on two of our innovations. One of them is utilizing what we call an actor model. We have 3 actor models in the world. One is Microsoft Event, the other one is ACA, and ours is the Proto Actor model. Proto Actor is ahead of Microsoft Actor, sitting out there. And that was why we were able to do what we call the contact tracing in US. Over 300 million US were tracked at real time during the COVID contact tracing. And it was marvelous that just at the office of the president, just by the press of the button, you see where the red alerts are. So these are things we were able to achieve. And also there is what they call the fraud waste that we also dealt with in terms of connecting all the different cycles of what they call the generic medical records in America. And with that, we were able to make sure that people do not get involved in frauds and some of those managements in medicine. And that is part of the thing that we're bringing down to Nigeria. And what we're discussing, preliminary discussions with the ministers to give us just the nod. We're not asking for money because we are involved in the PPP. PPP, the public-private partnership, where funding is basically accessible to us. So a little bit of that technology or that platform is working on community level. As you see them sitting here, it's the next generation platform, which is thinking of the devices on its own, not on the network that we are working today, whereby things get compounded, you're making transactions, your money is deducted, and then it doesn't get to the owner, and you don't know what happens to it, you lose your money. No, we're doing our transactions at the community level. And at the community level, we deal with billions of transactions in milliseconds. So that's where we are. That's where our Proto Actor comes in and ensures that the energy consumption in this platform is very small, very minor. So and that is where we can support. I was hearing you say that's not incredible. So that is where we can deal with all the whatever that you have in Africa, all put it together. We can manage any transaction or anything that is happening. So we have a partnership, and whatever to address what you ask, whatever that is required can sit in properly, and many millions of all these things will be accommodated in it. So it is something that is real, that will happen, and all we need is a nod. So thank you, Oscar, for what you are promoting, and thank you, Nanda, for supporting whatever that is coming up. But we are here to also say, yes, we are open to all partnerships to make sure that whatever we are doing is something that can be done anywhere. And we have also the technology that will deal with remote areas where we have a satellite to box for where there is no internet. These are things that we are American government was using when they are going to remote areas, Vienna, Vietnam, and all those things, fighting wars. We have that box. It's also with us. So, and he said in telemedicine, we have the father of telemedicine with us. That is what is also part of the package that we have. And so we can move in different communities, areas where there is no power, areas where there is no, and we will establish whatever that we want to establish. To deal with primary health, which is what is also killing Nigerians. People are not seeing doctors, and you can deal with it right there. And you see doctors all over the world that will talk to you and give you your recommendations with the pharmacist and everything that is required. So,
all protocols duly observed. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Uche Chukwu Ije, and I'm actually a serving corps member, although I'm having my personal parade next week. I've always been a very big fan of the GetBundi program, and also later I came all the way from Yanopaja to attend this event, and I'm very happy that I was not disappointed. So my question is to Dr. Aristotle, actually. So I'm actually privileged to be one of the selected fellows for the 3MCT program. I'm called 2 fellow, and this is my question. While events like the 3MCT and GetBundi are primarily training Nigerian youths to export them as tech talents to the world, what are some of the, should I say, initiatives to absorb some of these tech talents so that we are not just training these people and exporting them and other countries are developing and we're not having them retained? Because I am of the opinion that absorbing some of these tech talents can actually go to address a lot of the issues and even some of the questions that were raised by some people here. So for example, the resistance to change, serving as proof to Nigerians that the programs like this are not a scam. So a little bit of insider feedback inside of the communities like the 3MTT Telegram community. There's a lot of should I say community mismanagement. We all know, anybody that is involved in tech knows that community management is a very, very big part of the successful, that dictates the success of any technological venture. So things like what people are saying inside of the community to you, Mr. Dr. Aristotle, right? So what are some of the initiatives by NIDA intending to not only export these talents, but even absorb them and use them to also strengthen the program? So that by the time people see fellow Nigerian youth being living testimonies to the success of this program, how after receiving 3MCT training and they've used it to get better, get a job, not just abroad, because not everybody is actually going to Japan. There's some of us Nigerians that are very passionate about remaining in the country, engaging some of these initiatives and also now giving back to the Nigerian economy itself. So are there any initiatives in place like that to use us that are ready to stay back in Nigeria and work for some of these initiatives? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, my sister, for that question. I'm sure that maybe she may be speaking the mind of many young people also in terms of trying to get employment, as the case may be. But I want to say that in as much as
we are training. Even if one of them decide to jump, as the case may be, they will also come back as the case may be later. The essence of the whole thing is, number one, once you have the skill, we are already in a global village. Your skills in Nigeria, once you have that skill, qualified skills, I can provide service to anywhere, any place in the world. You can get employment any place in the world. That's the whole essence. Now, coming to the program that we're having to ensure that we are not ensuring that we keep you. What we're ensuring that you become independent in terms of becoming creative, in terms of building businesses of your own, in terms of becoming an entrepreneur, in terms of also perhaps creating a platform of, instead of you looking for employment, you also be employing others. Now, that's why we have, if you are building your own business instead of terms of startup, the NSA have made a very wide provision for supporting startups massively. And for you to be supported as a startup, now you have to be labeled. And for you to be labeled, you have to go to the Nigerian Startup Portal and also get registered. Now, when you get registered and meet the requirement, you'll be labeled as a startup. And once you're labeled as a startup, there are wide range of incentives you can access, including funds that can help you, patient capital that can help you, and also get a lot of other supports that can help you to stabilize, to grow, and also to get the right kind of visibility. Also, we also have a program through which we also interact with these young startups and also help to expose their services, and ensure that we can create an opportunity for them to have a global visibility. We take some of these startups, we take them to international events, we sponsor them, we expose them. Some of the brands that you've seen today, we have supported them in terms of provision of grants, especially for the startup. And last year alone, or last 3 years alone, we supported close to about 6 people. Okay, we facilitated about 6 of these big startups that you're seeing today. About 6 of them, so they put millions of naira, some 50 million, some more than that. We created a platform for them to have that grant to which they can scale up in their businesses. So what we do actually is we're not training so that we can employ you we are training you and building you so that you can become a job creator yourself. You develop yourself, you'll be able to start a business, even engage others as the case may be. So, in as much as although you can also get employment, because like I said, you can either get employment here locally or also get employment outside the country. So whichever way that you get the employment, what we are doing is that so they can become self-sufficient, you can have skill, you can also be technologically empowered, and if you're building your own businesses, we also have a platform to support that business to grow, expose you to global community, so that the services that you're provided can also be used even across outside the country. If there are other specific support that you also need, you can also reach out to us. We can find a way to work it out. You can benefit from other services. We have a National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics. It's a platform for also training. We offer some of this high-end technical training and support free of charge. You don't pay for it. So what I'm saying in essence that it is not particularly for just want to train you so that can employ you or retain you, but we're training to employ you so they can also become a job creator and also build businesses that can help the society in solving their own major problem. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
Hi.
we have come to the end of this segment, the panel session. You would agree with me that it's been very captivating, it's been very informative, and of course, a lot of opportunities abound in the digital services sector. So, thank you very much, gentlemen. CEO GetBundi and the Director of Partnerships for once again. Director, Corporate Planning and Strategy, pardon me. So at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to welcome our own very own Dr. Anne Abakoba, the Executive Secretary of GetBundi Education Foundation. Please give her a round of applause as she walks majestically to the podium.
Every one of us seated here. I'll take some brief protocol. I want to recognize the presence of the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, Barrister Uju Kennedy Ohanenye, ably represented by Dr. Fatima Abdullahi, SA to the Honorable Minister. I also want to recognize the Senior Trade Commissioner, Canadian Deputy High Commission, Mr. Didembolo Zaya Kuyena. I want to recognize the Director General, NIDA, National Information Technology Development Agency, Kashifu Abdullahi, who are represented by Mr. Aristotle Anumu. I want to also say that he is a prof. So he's not a doctor anymore. I want to say he's a prof. You're welcome. I want to recognize the Anambra State Liaison Officer, the person of Barrister Leo Chibuka, representing the Anambra State Governor. You're very welcome, sir, with your team. I want to recognize representative of the Dubai Chamber of Commerce, Irene Oyakoma. She had to leave us because we had another conflicting meeting. Representatives from British Council, you're very much recognized. And I also want to recognize someone who is very, very special, the Lagos Island Zonal Inspector, National Youth Service Corps, Mrs. Grace Osho. You're very much welcome. I want to recognize, if I have not mentioned your name, and please forgive me, I will also say my own Oga, Barrister Osita Oparugo. I also want to say you're welcome and thank you so much, sir, for this event. And so I want to mention, I can't say the list of everyone here, but I want to say that everyone who is present here is the most distinguished guest, and you are very much welcome. So, as was rightly introduced, my name is Dr. Anne Obiamaka Abakoba, and before I start, I would want to say, because some people will say, I know when I spoke with Mrs. Osho, she said, "Oh, you're a doctor, what have you done? Are you now in the tech space?" The last time I knew you were a medical doctor. But I wouldn't become a medical doctor if I wasn't educated. So the bottom line here is that education opens your mind, and with education you are fluid, you're very flexible. And so that can explain even the representative of the Honorable Minister here, she's also a medical doctor, and she has gone into that space. So with education, you are very flexible to move around. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure to be here with you today on behalf of the GetBundi Education Foundation. The GetBundi Education Foundation was established with the goal of bridging the digital divide and driving technology progress across the African continent. Our mission is to ensure that all Africans, regardless of their socioeconomic background, have access to skills needed to thrive in the digital age. Over the past few years, we've witnessed remarkable strides in the African tech ecosystem. Homegrown innovations, startups are flourishing, capturing the attention of the global community. However, we cannot ignore the persistent disparities that continue to plague our region. There remains a significant gap between those who have access to digital resources and those without. This is where the work of the GetBundi Education Foundation becomes crucial. We are committed to investing in digital education and skills acquisition programs that empower individuals, especially youth, women, internally displaced persons living with disabilities, and refugees to unlock their full potentials. By equipping our citizens with the necessary digital competencies, we are not only setting them up for success, but also positioning our nation for long-term prosperity and growth. Using the word of Nelson Mandela, which my colleague has earlier on quoted, I'd say that education is no longer used, that education is a weapon that we can use to change the world. Digital literacy is no longer a luxury. It's not a luxury like your Chanel bag or some fancy car. It is something that has become very, very necessary. It is a necessity, especially in this 21st century, in today's rapidly evolving job market. Employers are increasingly seeking candidates with strong digital skills, from coding and data analysis to digital marketing and cybersecurity. These skills are in high demand and can open the doors to many and countless opportunities. In the words of Aidan Bloom, education is the movement from darkness to light. Furthermore, the integration of digital technologies into various sectors, such as healthcare, like was said just before the panel session was over, where healthcare can now be used to make some assessments in telemedicine and in agriculture. There are diverse ways where technology can be used. As a result of our understanding about the positive impact of acquiring digital skills, as well as enhancing gender inclusion, Texas initiative was launched to empower women and help them attain economic independence. So to elaborate that, Texas is an initiative of the GetBundi Education Foundation, and this initiative was developed with the aim of achieving the gender inclusion. Since we came here, we'll be talking about inclusion. The minister spoke about inclusion. A lot of speakers have spoken about inclusion. But how do we put this into practical purpose? Is by creating initiatives such as Texas that would actually train these women and mentor them onto using digital skills to empower themselves. And when a woman is empowered, everyone around her becomes empowered. Texas was launched in, the maiden edition was in 2023, and 500 women were trained in digital skills. For 2024, for Texas 2024, our target is to train 1,000 women in digital skills. And we believe that it's a very huge responsibility. We identify it as huge because of the resources that it entails. And that is one of the reasons why foundations or non-governmental organizations are like linking blocks. So the government cannot do everything. Foundations come in to step in where the government cannot cover, or they come in collaboration with government to achieve their purpose. So when we say you're an NGO like we are, the foundation, we are coming in to say, okay, this is a huge gap. Since morning, we've been hearing about the gaps that exist in the digital space. And this is the gap that has been identified. And so we've stepped in to say, okay, this is what we can do to achieve the digital literacy target of 70 and above by 2027. So let's start with one woman at a time. And GetBundi Education Foundation is saying, can we make it 1,000 women in 2024? I think it deserves a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you very much. So we intend to start that 6-month program in July, and it will span for 6 months, where women will be empowered with the necessary skills and necessary support that is required for them to be independent within the tech space. So Texas 2024 is focused on web development and data analytics, and we target to train 1,000 Nigerian women in partnership with and we've gone into partnership with the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs as partners, and to sponsor 300 women from the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. I think this deserves an applause, and I want to thank the ministry as well for their support and partnership. We believe that this will go a long way in bringing many families and communities out of poverty. As the African saying goes, if you educate a man, you educate an individual, but if you educate a woman, you educate a nation. Therefore, I urge all of you here present, our esteemed partners, stakeholders, to join us in this endeavor by investing in digital education and skill acquisition. We call on the leaders and policymakers to ensure adequate budgetary allocation towards education, especially STEM and digital technology. We call on lawmakers to ensure full implementation of policies that support advancement of digital skills education in Africa. One thing I want to say is that we are Nigerians, and if you are in the policy or development space, you'll see that Nigeria will have all the policies. We already have all the policies. The only issue there is implementation of these policies. So that is why we want to emphasize in our call to action implementation of these policies. And so we call on our stakeholders to join us in improving access to STEM and digital skills education and acquisition. We call on everyone here present to contribute to nation building by supporting digital advancement in any and every way possible for the benefits of our dearly beloved country and continent. Everyone here present, we call on everyone here present to support Texas. So this is my own aspect now. We call on you, everyone here, even if you're here representing someone, please call them to support our Texas 2024 project. It's like I mentioned earlier, it's a 6-month program, but I really want to mention the cost, that it will be costing about 321 million naira, aside other resources that will be put into that project. We are very open to receive support in various ways that would enable us achieve this objective. And together we want you to join us to unlock a future where every Nigerian, and by extension Africans can, regardless of their background, have access to tools and resources within the digital economy. Thank you all for your time and attention. I look forward to our continued collaboration in driving digital transformation and national development across Nigeria and the African continent. Thank you.
Please give her a round of applause.
There is someone that I don't know how and when he sneaked in, but he's a big man. Though. He's a big man. Dr. Tamboa. Dr. Tamboa, it's my pleasure to introduce you to everyone. Dr. Tamboa is the top director at the National Information Technology Development Agency in Abuja. He, in fact, is in charge of the area that we play in. So if he says GetBundi is in business, GetBundi is in business. Dr. Tamboa, please say GetBundi is in business for us. It's my pleasure to have you here. So Dr. Tamboa, now that you have come and it's time to cut the cake, come with me. You will join in cutting the cake. But before, to be very honest with you guys, we did not make provision for this cake. We didn't make provision for it at all. It wasn't part of what we wanted to do today. My dear brother here and his wife brought this cake and his son to us. I really, really appreciate my brother and the wife. They have a son who is smart, but doesn't know how smart he is. So I want to make him know, because I know and I can feel how smart Greg is. And of course, he worked with us at some point. You remember Greg? great parents brought us cake, and we are going to cut the cake, and please make sure that you get a piece before you leave. It's a whole lot of cake. I love it, and I appreciate this gift. I do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Dr. Aristotle, please join us. My brother, please, you and your wife, you brought the cake. Join us. And the governor of Anambra State in Lagos State is the SA to the governor, the liaison officer to Anambra State government in Lagos State. Is the governor that we are seeing. Please join us here to cut the cake. Oh, you want to bring it here? Thank you very much. Join us. Join us. Join us. Don't take it too far. It will give a person to take this cake and go home. Okay, all right. So please. Police, I'm doing your work. Eh? Is GetBundi.
Yeah, the GetBundi.
So
your second name is GetBundi.
You will even know it.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
And the way you're holding that knife, that's how they hold knives. Is it yam that you want to grow?
Where is the GetBundi team now? GetBundi.
The GetBundi team, please proceed to the cake stand. So, could you please place the knife on the cake and then let the gentleman and lady place their hands. Yes, that's as far reaching as it can go. Paparazzi, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So, at the count of G, E, T, B, U, N, D, I, GetBundi. Please give a round of applause. This is the GetBundi has come to stay. It's a global brand. In Jesus' name.
I feel honored and privileged to get the opportunity to say the word of thanks on this special occasion. My name is Rita Obi, and on behalf of all of us at GetBundi Education Technology and GetBundi Education Foundation, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our delegates. I would like to thank all the honorable delegates who blessed us with their presence. I am also very much thankful to all the members and invited speakers. Words are not enough to thank their constant guidance and support to shape the event. I thank the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, Her Excellency, Barrister Uju Kennedy Ohaneye, for gracing this event as a guest of honor and for being here with us today. We will ever remain grateful to you and we thank you for being with us today. A special thanks to our chief guest speaker, Mr. Kashifu Inuwa Abdullahi, Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, NIPTA, for accepting our invitation and for being here with us today. Your work ethic and commitment towards digital technology are truly remarkable. Your speech on indigenizing digital skills education has truly inspired us. I would also like to thank the founder and CEO of GetBundi Education Technology, Barrister Osita Oparogo, for his profound speech, his commitment, support, and vision, as well as his leadership. Your drive and belief in the transformative power of science, technology, and innovation for Africa's development is highly remarkable. My heartfelt thanks to the course coordinator, Mrs. Juliet EJ, for her valuable contribution, guidance, and stewardship towards making today's event successful. I also thank the members of the media for covering the events and all the hard work mostly behind the scenes. An event of this dimension cannot happen overnight. The wheels start rolling months in advance, and we have been quite fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated team members. I cannot thank everyone enough for the involvement they have shown and the willingness they have expressed to take on the completion of tasks beyond their comfort zone. I thank all the distinguished guests present, from accepting our invitations to gracing our event. If time is money, then today you have spent millions for us. Finally, I would like to thank all of you present here for making the time to be with us today and helping us make this event a grand success. Thank you one and thank you all.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That was our own very dear Rita Obi. So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, you would agree with me that the sessions you have participated in have been very rewarding intellectually and socially and morally and otherwise. It leaves us to think a lot about development and also both personal and social development and even economic empowerment of our people at large, the people of Nigeria and by extension, Africa. So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we encourage all of us to break into the networking sessions, just network, and then we would also be on hand to also guide the networking process. Prince Osita Oparugo is, and yes, he's also a prince, so he's on hand, will be on hand to entertain any questions. And of course, various organs are here, the GIZs are here, the NITDA is here, and GetBundi is here. So GetBundi, being at the fulcrum of what is happening today, will be on hand to attend to all our needs and preferences. Thank you very much.